Yeah, Tony, I'd like to start this segment by phoning a friend. If I could get Butterscotch in the chat, he's our Bulls expert, and I'm going to talk about the Sixers and the Bulls. He always knows when to be on them and when to fade them, and that's no fluke, right, Tony? I mean, look, we analyze every team, but you always have a feeling with your teams, right? And we shouldn't really say our teams because, we try to be so objective, but there are just some teams that you follow more closely than others, and you know when they're going to win. You know when they're going to lose. Kind of Butterscotch is our Bulls man.
Yeah, I mean, it says that when you live in the area, you go to games, you see more. You definitely have more of a connection there to the team. I feel the same way when I go to see the local teams out here. You feel that connection, and of course, we're looking at the Bulls and Sixers here. It opened five. It's ticked down to about to 4.5 now with Philadelphia. Total 231.
Yeah, maybe the public, reacting to the Joel Embiid news. We know he's going to be out of this one with that foot injury, so that might play a factor. I mean, a lot of people who follow it closely obviously know that the big man's going to be out for this one with his 33 points per game. But I don't know if that's going to change the way the tempo of this one is going to go. We've seen so many spectacular performances, Tony, by the superstars in the game, especially over the last couple of weeks. What's gotten into these guys? Not only the pace of play, the number of possessions, and all that. And really, Rick Bucher, the great NBA writer, talked about how we're reacting to load management. And since they've been putting these, really increasing the number of data points on players, that the load management thing is kind of poo-pooed by the general public because we pay these guys so much money. But the number of possessions and the pace of play is really what's gotten these guys. They're almost working twice as hard as the players from just 25 and 30 years ago because of the number of possessions. They're running twice as far every night on
Yeah.
the
Also,
court
too.
because
Also,
of
too.
that.
There's something that came to my mind here. Is that 8 second rule to get the ball past half court?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, that's just changed the nature of the game. So I could see it where possibly, and it'd be a big players union thing. Let me get started on this handicap, but they probably should increase the rosters. You see a game like hockey. I'm not comparing it directly to hockey, but maybe these rosters should be a little bit deeper, and maybe the minutes should run a little bit deeper. Yeah, you could throw your guys out there, your top 6 or 7, and maybe win those games, but it's going to cost you on the back end. They're trying to work the schedule and everything. Whether they can change the number of games, I don't know, but maybe deeper rosters might be the solution here a little bit to helping some of these stars. Why play the stars necessarily? 36 minutes per game when maybe it might be more reasonable to play them in more games for less minutes. But let me get started here, Tony, with this one. It's a big issue because Embiid is a guy who's fought injuries his whole career, and it's too bad because he's such a big star, and you hate to go to those games without the stars, right? Especially here, though the Sixers are at home, they've won 3 straight. They've been so hot, winning 15 of their last 16 at home. They've got that great scoring depth. So I don't know if missing Embiid is going to be the factor here as I'm going to look at the total in this one. Talk about the superstars. Well, my theme of this was going to be basically James Harden and DeMar Rosen, right? I got to think that these guys are going to get a little bit hooked up in a scoring battle tonight in this one. We've already seen pressure to the over here in this one. Philadelphia, they just defeated Indiana in OT without Joel, 129-126. So you got to figure tonight it's going to be all systems go for the rest of the Sixers scoring players in a pretty decent matchup, I would think, for Harden, for Maxey, for Melton. It goes through Harden without Embiid. So I think for Philly, that's where they're going to be able to still sustain their good scoring depth here. Philadelphia, they've gone over in 6 of their last 7 games, 11 of their last 16 versus sub 500 road teams. And they've also gone over in 15 of their last 25 as a favorite. We know Chicago, an excellent shooting team. They're in the top 5 in field goal percentage. They also shoot 36% from three, and both these teams very solid from the free throw line. The Sixers also a great 3-point shooting team. They're in the top 5 as well. So I think for the Bulls, Zach Levine and DeMar, they have tougher matchups, but I think it's going to be for DeRozan. He's going to end up getting it's maybe a little ego battle. I don't know with Harden. I really think that these two guys are going to be motivated to have one of those matchups, if you will. We know Levine's can score. Melton is probably a pretty decent defender. Now, the uh, Bulls certainly, the Sixers certainly will be without some. They will be missing Joel, of course. But look at the Bulls; they're missing Caruso, they're missing Green. These are two, I don't know, best, dare I say, best perimeter defenders on the Bulls. So I think those matchups for those Sixers scorers will be just fine. The only guys maybe I really have a down arrow on are probably Dosunmu and maybe also Tobias Harris because he'll get locked up a little bit with Williams. So I think here I'm going to go over 231 on the show. Maybe I was thinking premium on this one, but we've already seen it gone up a little bit from 228 here. As I don't know, we're seeing a lot of pressure on a lot of these totals over. Although there have been some unders that are going on too today. But last 5 games, Philly games have averaged 234 points. Bulls games, the last 5 games have averaged 239 points. So I think this one can be. I see that scoring battle going on tonight with Harden and with DeRozan. I think those guys will end up being the stars. Good matchup for Vucevic too. I think Vuce will have a pretty good game as well. So I got this one going over Tony tonight with the Bulls and the Sixers.
All right, we got Ramon here going over here. 231, and of course, so we're starting to see some movement here, mostly out your way, out in Vegas. The sharp books, we're seeing some 231 and a halves as well. There is one book that's 230 and a half, which is one rogue bet, rogue book out there. We'll see how that, maybe they're slow updating. I don't know, but anyway, Bulls 76ers over in this one. Yeah, you got the guys in there. You got the Maxi back, you got the Harden in there, and of course. With the Bulls, they've been actually putting up some numbers here. You look over the 9 games, averaging 117 points per 100 possessions, giving up 116 per 100. So with the Bulls, you get the points, but sometimes the defense is an issue for them.
Oh, no doubt about it. Caruso had been injured. Now he came back, and now he's back hurt again. He's going to be doubtful and Green without Green. To me, those guys are two perimeter defenders that you'd like to have in this one, especially against the likes of those. Against those Sixers scorers that I mentioned. So let me fire. I didn't know if I'm going to fire up the chat and see if I got anything from Butterscotch Tony. I think, but see if he had any comments on this. He'll usually tell me if the Bulls are good or bad in that one. He says the Bulls have stepped it up in the last 5 games. So he likes the Bulls today and thinks they'll hang around in the end at plus 4 points. So that's a little bonus play from our guy Butterscotch in the chat, Tony. That's your kind of little preview here with you, Tony, as far as what happens on the morning's team. We don't involve so much the chat here, but I knew I could get once I heard you say Scotch was in the chat. I could get a few comments from him certainly there, so that was fun.
Yeah, Blake with you as well on the over as well. Bulls 76ers over 231. Just one to have a start time here of 7 Eastern time. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at TonySpace.com for today's action. Of course, showing great results here in NHL last 7 days, coming off a great 2022. We got NHL on the board, big NBA card. Lots of these small conferences, the conference we expect here on the Fridays. You got your Ivy League in there. You've got these these smaller conference schools, the Ivy League. You got your Horizon, some Maction in there as well. Maction usually gets the big TV spots. What do you have going over at Tony's Picks?
Yeah, I've only got one play right now on the colleges, Tony, but I want more. I'll be looking a little more deeply. I mean, I've gone through it several times and not so solid on it, but my one play in college ball is in the action. And got a play for you. It's my $15 Tony's Picks special, Tony. It's the $15 discount best bet over there at Tony's Picks in the game between Canisius and Manhattan. Tony, these two teams are so bad I couldn't dare charge $25 for this game, but that doesn't take away from the handicap. Certainly, I'm going to be on this one for sure. Canisius and that. And also, Tony, in the NHL, got a three pack up right now for $30. Friday night early three pack. Could take a look at the late games as well, but all my games came up on those first three games on the card. So, going to have three plays there for you in the NHL. Could be coming in with some steam there. As well. So in the NBA, Tony got a three pack for you also for $30 early action there in the NBA. And you see my college football playoff national championship best bet currently up in the game between Georgia and TCU. Let the hype end soon. We're on Friday. We're getting there. We just got to get through the weekend. So maybe you can pick up my weekly pass and get all this action for a reasonable price over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code. It says right there at the bottom, 20% off at Tony'sPicks.com. We're doing pretty well right now, getting things rolling here. My college basketball's really hot, so I wish I had a little more going today. I already kind of started working on the big Saturday card, so should be heavy in action over the weekend in college basketball. Don't forget National Football League this weekend, the final week. Everyone's feeling a great sense of relief that we can get through the rest of the season. Little quirkiness there with the release that came out from the NFL, but maybe a fair solution for everybody moving forward. So I think we can get on with this exciting final week and some very important games in the NFL on Saturday and Sunday as well. Yeah, we do have those two videos up that Minnie and I previewed with one consensus play from us over at the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. So check out the videos from the crew. Ben's up there with his videos as well. So pick up my packages for today, or just get one of those short-term passes, 3-day, 7-day. Check out what the hype is all about. You look at that leaderboard; it was deep yesterday. Tony, you got to be proud of the work the crew did here at Tony's Picks yesterday.
Yep, great work there from everyone over at Tony'sPicks.com. Again, on board here with Ramon Scott over at Tony's Picks, a three-pack here from the NBA early evening Friday three-pack, as well as on the ice tonight with a three-pack. As we resulted here, Ramon, great results here last 7 days in the NHL, coming off a great year 2022. We got to get those 2022 stats back up there. We'll get that on the leaderboard.
Three
That's hard.
dimes. I'll tell you,
Three dimes in NHL last year, guys. So get on board with Ramon. Also in action here with that best bet from college basketball, $15 premium play. That's up on there. Also in with that national championship game on the Monday game with Georgia and TCU. That's up there on the board as well. From Ramon Scott over at Tony's Picks. Now, instead of buying all these plays individually, you may opt for the longer term pass. Friday, very popular 3-day all sports pass here on Fridays. You get all of Ramon's premium plays for 3 days. That will cover. Well, it will also cover his championship game because that's already in the system, right? So the Monday games, including that 3-day all sports pass, as well as all his NBA, his hockey, his college hoops. NFL, we got the 2 games here on Saturday, the 14 on Sunday, and of course, the college football championship game, since that's already in the system, that is already includes you in that 3-day all sports pass. So go for it, get on board with it. If there's any late Steam plays, when you get that 3-day pass, those will be emailed to you. Those are plays that are listed that enter in the system between 10 minutes and 2 hours before game time. Those are flagged and documented as late Steam plays. For the long-term subscribers, those are emailed directly in your inbox. So you log in your usual time. We want them in by 11 a.m. Eastern time. You get your plays. Anything later would be emailed to you in your email box. But those are only plays that are loaded between 10 minutes and 2 hours before game time. Those are the late Steam, so keep an eye on there. That's why those long-term passes are so valuable there. And that 3-day pass, you want to try out Ramon, try them out for 3 days. We'll save you some money when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access Ramon's page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, and you'll land right on his page and look for that 3-day All Sports Pass and get signed up and use that promo code. Take $20 off that, which is a really affordable price there for that 3-day pass. It's a good time to get on board with Ramon. All right, Ramon will also put together a Twitter account for you over at Tony's Picks Ramon. And of course, don't forget the morning steam back here on Saturday with lots of content.
Yeah, Tony, I know you would have said it, but maybe you weren't sure that, because you teased earlier in the week that I might have it, and I will have a selection for you in the FCS championship game between North Dakota State and South Dakota State. They played basketball last night. They're going to play the big game tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. I will have a selection up at Tony'sPicks.com. Maybe there'll be the discount play tomorrow to get your day started. It's going to roll right into that probably go over, but a little bit into that Chiefs Raiders game. But the FCS championship game between North Dakota State, South Dakota State, I will have a premium pick in that game. So yeah, go over to Tony's Picks Ramon on Twitter and pick up my free play on the social media today. That game's going to come to you in the early start, just 3 hours away between Western Michigan and Toledo on the college basketball card with the regular Maction in this one. So pick that one up over at Tony's Picks. Mindy and I will be back tomorrow. It's been a very strong week. You saw the numbers a little bit there for Team Steam this week. I know everybody's pretty fired up about how we're clicking right now with our picks. Mindy and I putting our handicapping minds together along with the chat. You see him having a nice time, a fun time in the chat currently here with a couple of our regulars there. So join us over at Tony'sPicks.com's YouTube channel or on Twitter and other platforms as well when we have the morning steam. On Saturday, we'll return 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific with our selections for the NBA card. We're going to also cover the early slate of NFL games, the 8 games I think there are on the 1 Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific slate. So we'll cover those early games in the NFL. We'll probably have a bunch of college basketball games, at least a handful of them for the big card on Saturday. And get rolling with the weekend with the morning steam as we start here together going on into January. 5 months of morning steam, and I'm signed up for another year, so we're going to keep cranking over there and build this audience. We're already flirting with our record numbers each and every show, it seems like. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't continue to grow, especially if we're picking winners like we are right now with Team Steam. Remember, Mindy and I come to a consensus. Tony, those go up as our consensus plays. And if you missed the show, you can always purchase them over at Tony'sPicks.com, or you can do the legwork, go back and watch the videos. That's a little bit time consuming. So please, if you have the opportunity to subscribe to our morning steam plays to save a little time, if you know you're going to miss the show, Mindy and I do really appreciate that. That does help support us here as members of Tony's Picks.
That's right. And of course, you can also check in the chat room. A lot of great contributions. We talked about Butterscotch, Blake M in there. A lot of great contributors there with the plays, and of course, a lot of the purchases are made by folks who don't watch the show. Some people say, "Why do you have the picks up there?" And well, because a lot of people don't watch the shows. We had November. I don't have the December numbers yet, but for November, we had about 7.5 million impressions throughout the internet, and that is through YouTube and our website. That's all. I didn't track Twitter or any of the other. Those are just those two places there, and about 7.5% people click the link. So that just, if you do the numbers, a ton of people come visit our site and watch our videos. And of course, we do have a good portion of people that watch the show, but it's a small fraction compared to all the traffic that we get throughout the internet. So I'm just saying that's the reason we sell those plays, because for folks that don't catch the show. So there you go. But anyway, Ramon is always keep an eye on Ramon's FCS release there. He's been keeping an eye on those plays and posted them as premiums throughout the season. It's not just one of these one-time strikes here in FCS because it's a championship game. He's been following that since the start of the season. So get on board with Ramon. All right, Ramon, it's always great having you on the show. Keep up the great work. We'll talk with you again on Monday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Everybody's familiar with watching North Dakota State usually in this game, so that's
right.
going to be a game worth watching. Thanks a lot, Tony.
You got Ramon Scott here. You too as well. Ramon